Hi Kate, thanks so much for doing this. I've got it down to one page so I can go through it in 5 minutes, and it shouldn't take you long. Okay, so I'm just going to go through it and show you the spreadsheet as we go. Okay, just before I'm going to say there's 8 books of supporting detail that have taken 7 years to prepare, but for now we're just looking at the S in the res equation. For simplicity, I have decreased the figures from the accompanying spreadsheet from billions to thousands. So from the first tab on the spreadsheet, start at column E, row 5. This is half of the initial revenue, 2,748, which can be from investment, income from trade, or other. Let's take a look. Okay, this is the figure, E5, 2748. And that repeats here. The first spend. Okay. This is allocated to G5 as initial spending, and in H5 we see an efficiency of 90%, then in J5 we see a 5% tax deduction. However, tax is now handled in a different way, so effectively we have an efficiency very close to 85%, making 2,350 paid to other companies or personnel in the network. This is spin 1. The money supply, the cash flow within the network, has now increased by 2,350 to 5,098. Okay, let's have a look on the spreadsheet. Here's that original 2,750. Here's that 10%, 90% E. That makes that. Here's that 5% for tax. That makes that. And we see that 2,350 added to that 2,748 creates 5,098 in cash flow. Okay. It's important to know that there's a sophisticated system for personnel where for the most part they are paid in network credits. And in fact, all payments to network companies are network credits. One network credit can be considered as $1, but with 2 conditions. Firstly, it must be spent on one or another good or service, from real estate to a bottle of wine produced by the network. And secondly, it must be spent within a time allocation. This creates the spin. I have found it simplest to consider this in terms of cold hard cash changing hands. So in January 2024, Company A received $2,748 in US dollars. Then, before March, it used the money to buy goods and or services from Company B and paid cash, with 15% of the original money being spent on other things we do not know about. Company B has been paid $2,350 before March for the goods it provided. Then it in turn pays Company C $2,009 to Company C before mid-March. Before mid-April, again in cash, buying more goods and services. Let's have a look at that. This is the initial spend. This is the first spin. And this is the second spin. And we see there the 2009. Okay, now the cash flow in the network is 5,098 plus the 2009, 7,107 from an original 2,748. It's important to know that the above is a very simplified version. I have created a spreadsheet with the size of the moon about how the actual cash flow is spent, including staff and 32 different industry sectors. We are not concerned with this today. We are only interested in the spin. Moving along the spreadsheet, we see 8 spins in total equals $14,937 in cash flow made from the original $2,748 investment. An increase of 544%. Okay, so we just continue. Spin 3, spin 4, spin 5, spin 6, spin 7, and we get to here the total, and we can see here that 14,937, and we see the initial, that's $14,937 cash flow created from the initial $2,748 in investment, means that the cash flow is 544 times what the 444% times what the original investment was. Lastly, if we look at tab 2, 2039, res 16, we see an increase in E to 100% and an increase in S to 24, which creates an increase in cash flow made from the initial investment of 2,403% in column CZ, row 34. Here we have tab 2, starting at the beginning. We're now going through spin 24, so there's 24 different spins, and all has a E of 100, so it's always 100%. And here's the total, and if we come down here, we see what percentage that is, which makes an awful lot of sense. It should actually be 2400. I don't know why it's 2403, because you've basically taken the initial investment, you spun it 24 times with no loss, should be 24,000. But anyway, it's 2403. Okay, so that's it. There's 100 other things that need to also work, but this is so potentially powerful, it makes everything else possible. Okay, thanks ever so much for your time.